Man, I'm freaking out over here, man. I'm freaking out.
Zach, it's okay. It's okay, Zach. I know they want to hear more Power Rangers, but we can do it.
But so soon.
I
can't do it. It's random Conflux.
And
I'm gonna deal with it.
And with that, I'm John.
I'm Zach.
And we're going to talk about our possible theories about what Power Rangers might be moving forward.
You know, we've been missing one person for 3 episodes.
He will be back for reasons that are out of our control.
Every time it's reasons out of our control.
In this case, it's my car. I'm literally stranded at Zach's house right now.
But that's good for us, right? That's good for you guys. That means that we can record. We got a noisy dog in the background. We got really good topics. Not that Matt's topics aren't good, but
they're usually better when Matt's involved. He keeps us in line.
he keeps us more in line. We're literally like on time start, on time stop. Like pause where it needs to be paused. Like he's our compass to a broken map.
That said, we're talking about the theories about things going forward. Now, here's mine, okay? First, the dog stops licking himself. Okay, now second, I think that in the next season, the Beetleborgs are going to team up with the VR Troopers and the Mystic Knights of Terranog, and they're going to form a super group to take on the Super Samurai Cyber Squad because they turned evil, and it'll be a whole thing.
That was kind of close where I was going to go. I was going to go with the Beetleborgs were going to team up with, let's say, VR Troopers and the Mystic Force Rangers were going to team up with Knights of Terranog. And they were just going to butt heads and collide and have an awesome showdown of bugs and knights and knights and bugs and bugs and knights and knights and bugs.
And in the end,
I'm losing my mind, man.
And in the end, they all group hug.
Yes.
Happy ending. Hug. And then 80s high five.
80s high five.
And the song Jump will play in the background.
That sounds a lot like the 70s show.
It's all good.
Okay.
No, joking aside, what's your actual theories about the new season?
My actual theories.
Yeah, about like the new Power Rangers going forward after like Dino Fury and all that.
Well, honestly, I think not based on what I heard or any of that mumble jumble. This is just pure speculation, pure off the top of my head thought of like how I think the story should go. And honestly, I think they should just lose the original shit that Saban did.
So you're thinking they should just start over from scratch?
Yes. I mean, if they're going to redo the multiverse in store, like, okay, the series are going to be rebooted from scratch.
They're saying kind of like what DC did with New 52, everything starts from scratch.
Well, they're going to start the kids series from scratch, but that's also going to put the series that we're watching, that was originally the original series, like that's going to keep moving on, moving forward, and that's going to keep going more adult-centric, but not too adult where kids can't watch it. It's going to be like teen rated.
Gotcha.
And like they're going to reboot the story for like a younger audience. At least that's That's the way that
you heard.
That I heard it was going. But I think if they're going to do that, they should completely forget about the original Power Rangers. I think they should just, and no offense to Him Saban or like Chucky Levy, or
you think a fresh start would be the way to go?
Yeah, I think since Sean Levy and the Netflix team have it in where they can view it, or they can publish it and put it out to the audience for Hasbro, I think that they should keep that deal, and they should rewrite it from scratch, because technically when Saban was writing it, he really didn't have like the crap with the morphing grid really mapped out. That was all done in different parts of the story, and he was pretty much having that being written for that particular episode. But if you're not catching up with every season, you can get lost in the parade that is the morphing grid, the parade that is the morphin masters. I think what they should do is start completely over from scratch, introduce what needs to be introduced in the first season, and start picking up new from there, but also be able to keep each season separate.
Now,
so if you miss a season, you're not screwed.
I kind of like having the lore from all the previous seasons, but I can see where you're coming from with that. But I think they should be able to somehow keep that lore while still starting fresh. You know what I mean?
With as old as Power Rangers is,
yeah,
and thank God it's going on 30 years. I think that it needs to be up there with Doctor Who. Because if you think about it, not every season of Doctor Who you need to be acquainted with.
No, but it's also canon to the previous seasons.
You can jump anywhere into Doctor Who, and if you jump into the beginning of the season, doesn't matter what season, if you jump into the beginning of the season, you're going to have a lot of that brought back to you from a lot of the previous seasons.
True, but
and you don't have to go back and watch every other season to get the information you need. It's right there in the beginning.
True, but Doctor Who, all the previous episodes are still canon. So it's its own continuity, but it's still, the previous things matter.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah.
But, okay, you know how every season you have like a show open?
Yeah.
You have, last time on Power Rangers, or last time on The Flash, or last time on whatever.
Yeah.
And it recaps the story for you. Not every Power Ranger season does that.
So you're saying they should have like a recap of the important stuff at the beginning and like
And I think if you're starting off on a new season and you're a new viewer, and you don't know anything about the previous seasons, like, you shouldn't be felt left out. You should still have that kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of stuff that Doctor Who has. And they started doing that, like, after the 5th season? Maybe. But, like, I just seen one season of Doctor Who, and I caught up with the lore. Like, I know what the Doctors are. I know why they're being hunted. I know why they can't stay in one place too long.
You actually make a good point with that, because Once and Always is a throwback to Mighty Morphin, but not everybody's seen Mighty Morphin.
Well, hell!
Most people have, but not every Power Ranger fan has.
Mighty Morphin started 30 years ago. I'm 33.
I'm 34, so yeah.
I'm like... I was 3 when Power Rangers came out. So, like, there's times where I don't even know, like, the full past of Power Rangers. The only reason why I got so caught up to speed on it is because, like, I used to watch reruns.
And Power Rangers it's one of our favorite shows. That's why we've talked about it for how many episodes now?
Exactly. And we're gonna make this cow into it's a tri-low power cow.
Why can't we milk a duck instead, Zach?
Can it be a power duck?
A power duck, yeah. That's the only way they get udders.
Okay.
But
Another power duck.
The duck has to morph to get the power udders. I'm gonna stop. That sounds wrong. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think.
I'm sorry, audience, for that weird mental image.
I think it needs a full reboot for like a new kid audience.
Duck udders?
I'm gonna slap someone here. No.
Power Rangers, I know.
Power Rangers. I think it should get a whole new reboot for like a new kid audience. But I also think for those that have watched it for this many years, I think it should stay where it is because we are familiar with that. But they can still have that that multiverse where yes, the two are connected, but the other one is sort of past tense, where it's catching those people up to speed quickly. And like, if they really do it right, they can make that to the point where you get the lore that you need and you don't have to feel left out. And it's a Power Rangers for your generation. And I think that that's exactly what like Power Rangers should be, because there's things in it that that coming into it fresh, you're not gonna know. You're not gonna have the wherewithal.
That's kind of what they do anyway, because each season it's its own isolated thing to a point, but it's still in the whole
But there's
lore.
still the morphing grid. There's still the morphing masters. There's still lore that ties into other seasons.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you need to be able to move on.
Okay. I can see your argument there.
I mean, to really understand and enjoy the lore of Power Rangers, it's kind of what you really need.
Gotcha.
Am I right or wrong?
You got a point. Like, you have to do a little bit of research, you have to dig into stuff. And...
Yeah. And those that just don't have the time or patience, like, you're gonna not really like the show because you don't know the lore that pertains to previous seasons. I mean, it's a good callback, but it also isn't just filler. It's permanent to connecting every season together. And since they don't do, last season on Power Rangers, David Talks destroyed Angel Grove, or Rita and Zed, they turned good but now are evil. Like, you don't get that. Maybe in the 30th anniversary episode, maybe they'll do a callback to that. But, like, I really think that... I think they'll reboot a new kid's story. Kind of away from where we're at now. And just catch them up in new seasons coming. And I think that they're going to introduce the lore that was going to go past in seasons where we are already at the Morphin Masters. Like, who are the Morphin Masters? What is the Morphin Grid? Most kids don't understand this. They just say, "Ooh, pretty colors! I want to be a Power Ranger!"
Good little boy.
Ah, awesome! But, but anyways, it's like, I don't. If I was a kid watching Power Rangers right now, I would be
Speaking of
lost.
kids, that wasn't an actual kid. Zach can actually hit that vocal range. It's
Yeah, that was me being a smartass. But it still makes my point.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna keep going forward for the adult audience in the direction that they are right now with Cosmic Fury I hear it's going to be geared towards a more adult audience, where a new breed of Power Rangers is going to be geared towards children.
Yeah.
And I think that's... And if that is like a whole reboot situation, then there's not really a theory to be made there. It's just speculation.
That said, if they're gonna keep going with the route of Fury, the next one should be Montezuma's Fury, and they have to fight diarrhea.
No. Please no. Hasbro, just don't listen to this man. Don't listen to him.
Why not?
Yeah, just no.
Montezuma comes back and he seeks his revenge on the world.
No. No. Why? Just why? No. But anyways, yeah, it's more speculation if it's gonna be a complete reboot. And I think if they do if they are going to do a new reboot, they should implement the canon that has been passed over many seasons, and kind of try to jumble enough of that into one season to catch a lot of people up. And I think moving forward, we know enough about the Power Rangers history to be able to move on to other seasons. Sort of like how Star Wars canon is something that's been introduced over multiple stories.
Or even Dragon Ball.
But they have one time a year where they catch a lot of people up and get new audience and get new people to be intertwined. That's why there's TV specials. That's why there's DVDs. And I think...
what about the Star Wars Christmas special?
Let's say no to that. Just no. That's probably just as bad as the Power Rangers Christmas special, where Alpha ends up stealing a bunch of kids. And...
he was lonely. And he wanted
had
friends.
Zordon! If you're a kid and a robot teleports into your room, you're not going to be like, "Hey, Alpha, can you take me to the command center?" Yeah!
You gotta think, though.
You would be like, "Stranger danger, man!"
Alpha was probably just tired of talking to some guy in a tube. He needed some friends. He needed some physical interaction with friends and people. And
I wouldn't be saying,
he wanted
Alpha,
hugs.
take me to the command center. I would be like, "Stranger danger, dude!"
But robots need hugs, too. He wanted a hug.
I should be doing that in the kid voice, like, more often, because we don't redline.
Okay, comments below. Why did Alpha kidnap a bunch of kids for Christmas?
I get he was lonely, but that's just stranger danger, dude. That's just stranger danger.
But the kids had fun singing.
But do you realize, like, the parents are not okay with that? We do that, we go to jail.
But it's okay, because the robots don't know any better.
Ladies and gentlemen, just forget everything you heard, and blame it all on Alpha.
No matter what the problem, blame it on Alpha, because he doesn't know any better. We know he was chain smoking in the new season. That's why his voice is scratchy.
Oh yeah, he's saying those cigarettes like I hit my cigarettes. I wonder whose voice is raspier. His. At least I can still hit the high notes.
But
what are you doing, dog? Okay. I said my theory on what I think is gonna happen.
I said mine a little bit too. Like I think they're going to keep the lore somewhat, but they're going to make it their own at the same time. You know what I mean? They're not, like they already said, they're not going to throw all the history away. It's still going to be canon. I think they said that anyway. But they're going to make it a new thing at the same time. And I think the new series Cosmic Fury on top of the Once and Always are going to like start that reboot up. So there's multiple timelines, multiple things. And it'll just drive Power Rangers more into chaos, but it'll start new at the same time.
Well, yeah.
They've already established multiple timelines with RPM and with various other things too. I think Dino Charge was its own timeline also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But worst thing is Beast Morphers was the part of the original timeline.
And they came up with Dino Charge. Yeah. Beast Morphers actually referenced Rita. She wasn't in there, but she was referenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically her picture is in there.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
They were watching a video of how Sauron was destroyed, and some of the people like Lord Zed and Rita were turned good. It was one episode that they actually did a replay of an ending of a former season.
Yeah. They did a replay with Dino Thunder as well, when they were showing like the life of Tommy up to that point. They did previously.
Well, they didn't do the actual replay of the show.
Yeah, they did. It was paperclip. No,
with paper clips.
But no, they actually did replay footage of some of it. They did replay of that and some of the Sentai footage.
They did a little bit of. Oh, shut up. They did little snippets here and there, but the actual, I think, the whole scene where Sauron gets killed and like his power goes across the world, and the people that were actually evil turned to dust, and the people that actually had some good in their heart.
Yeah.
Lore is they turned human, but in reality, their voice actors kind of just jumped in to fill the shoes. And, like, that's really cool and all, and that turns Rita into the Mystic Mother. But if you actually think about it, if Rita turned back into human, how did she turn back into looking like Rita again, but in all white?
I think she didn't lose her power, she lost her evil. Like, that was taken out of her. She still had the potential for magic, but you know what I mean?
But it's... Okay, it's the same actual actor.
Yeah.
Okay. That they brought back in Mystic Force.
Well, it's his Japanese actor, actually. But yeah.
But it's an American woman doing the voice for it. And the American woman...
I actually didn't see that part of Mystic Force actually brought back the original American voice actors. That's cool.
It was the same actress that originally played Rita.
Okay.
But it was her voice actress that actually she turned into when she turned good.
Yeah.
But she went back to becoming her, Japanese counterpart?
Yeah.
Which is weird.
I can't tell you the lore reason, but I know the reason in the show why they did that. It's because that was her last role, and they wanted to pay homage to that actress. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actress that I'm getting moved away from the thing. The actress that actually played Rita in the Sentai actually did turn good eventually. She came back in later Sentai. But the when she passed away, it wasn't the same as like when they did Mystic Fury. It was supposed to be like a recall. but that was like an homage to the Japanese actress that played Rita.
Yeah.
But the voice actress that did her American dub, that you don't see the face of, you actually see during Power Rangers in Space finale. And it's like, how does she go from looking like this to like this and then back to this?
My theory is, like, not the change in appearance, because I can't explain that. My theory is she didn't lose the ability to use magic, she lost the desire for evil because of the beam that restored her. You know what I mean? And that evil, which I talked about, was still there, but it wasn't inhabiting Rita anymore. It found a new body, which is how it got, like, you know what I mean?
I know it was cameos.
Yeah.
And
I'm just trying to find, like, the canon in it.
That's what I want, is like the canon. Like, why look one way and then change, look another way, and then change back and look like that again?
Yeah. It could also...
And those that don't know...
There's another theory, too. Yes, she had the ability to use magic, but also, you gotta remember, when she came back at the end of Season 2, going into Season 3, she had surgery on herself by Finster. That could have went bad, and her body started looking like it did before.
What?
And hold on for a minute. This was to explain why the actress looked different, because when she came back to be with Zed, they had to hire an American actress that looked sort of like the original.
I'm not talking about that. That was before the voice actress was...
Yes. But she still had plastic surgery. Am I right? That surgery could have started going bad. Because sometimes surgeries start to, like, reverse and crap over time. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. My dog's licking himself in the background.
I'm just trying to explain stuff.
Well, you're going too far back. I'm wanting you to explain why her voice actress, which she supposedly turned into when turning good, ends up not being the person that she is when she's helping the Mystic Rangers as the Mystic Mother. I think something down the line changed.
Yeah, like something.
I mean, I understand.
Like something happened to reverse the surgery she had, or something. Who knows?
There was, well, no, don't even talk about the surgery, because the surgery was done way before she lost her evil.
Yeah.
But she lost her evil, turned into a whole different person. And then, still having no evil, being the Mystic Mother, she became the same person again.
Of course, if you also think that if the thing made her younger, like the surgery or whatever, I'm not going into that completely, her using magic, like good magic, without that core of evilness, might have aged her.
Or maybe that, like, dog. Hey. What? Stop. Well, anyways. Dog, chill. I think that maybe it's a little tie-in to... I can't explain it. I lost where I was going with that.
Or it could have to do with her being separated from evil half. Maybe that could have corrupted it.
No, because then she wouldn't look like her evil half again.
Yeah.
Like, the way you're explaining it, where she lost her evil, which was making her hideous, made her young and beautiful again, and then going right back to looking like she did when she first appeared as Rita, but as a good version of her. Like, that's kind of where I'm trying to get at, because it's like, oh, we're going to use your likeness for one part, and that's it. You will no longer be considered Rita after this. I think that's a bad deal for the actual voice actress because that's all they're going to know. It's like, how did you become Rita, then a beautiful version of Rita, and then go back to being an old hag Rita? My explanation might actually be that the Mystic Force could have been before Rita turned evil.
That's possible, but she also talked about the Power Rangers in that episode too, if I remember right.
But if you know from canon, Power Rangers existed way before Jason, Billy, Trini, Zach, Kimberly.
Now you're gonna make me want to go back and watch Mystic Force again. It's been forever, but I'm curious now. But...
Well, technically, the Power Rangers started on Elton, if I pronounce that right. And way beyond, like, the Morphing Grid or the Morphing Masters. Like, even in Boom Comics, it's illustrated, and there's this canon, that most of the Morphin Masters are Altar ancestors that have died and fused to the Morphin Grid. It's one of the reasons why most people that live on Altar have a connection to the Morphin Grid, or have knowledge of the Morphin Grid, because their race is kind of tied into what protects the Morphin Grid. When their race dies, they become versions of the Morphin Masters, and it gives them a new life. But it's not just Altarians that could be Morphin Masters. There's also a Morphin Master that's from KO35. There's a Morphin Master that's from Anubis Kruger's planet. There's a Morphin Master that comes from pretty much, there's a Morphin Master that comes from every single planet.
Like even Tommy was on the verge of being Morphin Master. He had the Master Morpher, and he was close to it, I think, wasn't he?
I don't know. I don't want to jump on Boom Comics' toes. Like, they're doing really good stuff there, but I don't think, like, with a lot, we can go into the stuff with Jason David Frank in the long
I wasn't talking to him, I was talking his character.
But that version of Tommy is Jason David Frank.
Mm-hmm.
You have to see, because he owned that version of Tommy Oliver. When they go and do a reboot for Tommy Oliver, then like that version of Tommy Oliver can be in one. But yeah, that also tries to explain the and sorry, we're going to go off topic again. But a lot of people, you probably already heard the rumors, the leaks, and all that shit. Where the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers is ripping off the Legend of the White Dragon.
I don't know how true that is or not.
Actually, I didn't believe it myself. I asked a friend of mine for proof. I'm doing air quotes for people that can't see it. And I actually looked at the script. It was almost word for word. And it was the reason why Tommy said no. Or Jason said no. I'm not doing it. And he was pissed.
And they did change it after that. And, like that was
very slightly.
That was the older script.
But the whole deal was to kind of do the same thing Boom Comics did, but Jason David Frank gave the guy from Boom Comics the permission to do it. And that's to kind of extend his story. And then it was going to he was going to agree to it to an extent, and then like they didn't want to agree to his terms because he wanted his daughter to also be part of it.
Now, if we're wrong with any of this, please.
Please, fact check us. Like, I'm just going off of information that I read, heard, and also seen. And
we can be wrong.
Like, I didn't talk to the original sources. I was not there for that conversation. I wasn't talking to people from Bad in the Sun Studios. I don't interact with them. I don't interact with Boom Comics.
It's just with
and I don't interact with Saban or Hasbro.
It's just stuff that you've heard. So
I do have friends in various areas, and I do talk to them on occasion, and I do try to get the scoop whenever I can. Sometimes the source is correct, sometimes it's not. And depending on how close the source is to the information I need, depends on how correct I am. But in this case, a lot of other people have been doing the research, and I just kind of fact check. And Bad in the Sun, the guy that is in charge of Bad in the Sun, I forget his name, but him and Jason David Frank were really good friends. And like Jason even called during, like, when they sent him the script, the original script, that it was like, dude, they're stealing Legend of the White Dragon.
Now, that was also the original script, like you said, and they've rewritten it since then. But,
barely.
yeah.
Like, very minor changes. But the whole thing was supposed to be Tommy giving over his powers and ascending to the Morphin Grid. And the idea behind it was supposed to be his daughter was going to take his place. And she was going to move on as the new Green Ranger for the new universe. Which
would be interesting.
It would be interesting, but like, crap. Just a bunch of bullcrap with that, and
well, we won't get into that too much more.
Yeah. But I just wanted to get that out of the way. Like, that's when you're dealing with theories, when you're dealing with a show and lore, you also have to kind of put that character to that face.
Yeah.
Unless it's Doctor Who, then who the hell is that person? And it's one of those things where Jason David Frank is Tommy Oliver.
Yeah.
Until they come up with they knew Tommy Oliver. He is Tommy Oliver. So technically his daughter, if he would have passed the torch to someone else that wasn't Tommy Oliver,
it would have been one of them.
Then it could have been someone else. But he could have passed the torch to his daughter, and that would have continued his legacy in Power Rangers.
Even and we don't know if that's going to happen or if it's not going to happen. She's shown interest in it.
She wants to do it.
Yeah.
But like, there's shit around that. Like, I'm not going into that. That's territory I'm not touching.
No, this is theories and about the show, not speculation regarding like the personal stuff.
Yeah.
But back to topics. The naval rangers that shoot belly buttons out, the morph, like we talked about in the last video. No.
Help.
Or
It's okay, Johnny. It's okay.
Or how about this for the next season for morphing? They have to catch and shave a squirrel every time you morph. The squirrels go as you're shaving them.
Awesome.
And that could be the sound effect of the morphing.
So you think that's where Power Rangers is gonna go from here?
Oh, totally. Squirrel morphers.
Squirrel Morphers! Puppy Morpher! Puppy Ranger! Puppy Power! Puppy on my lap. There's a puppy on my lap. He's all wet, and I don't know why.
He was licking himself earlier.
There was a dog on my lap. On my lap. On my lap.
Strangest ideas for morphers. Comments below. Keep it semi clean.
Yeah, I keep it clean. I was gonna say something that wasn't gonna be clean. Just
Keep it under the biblical definition of clean. So find that in the. I'm kidding, but keep this stuff clean.
biblical. What I was gonna say was biblical clean.
What about zestfully clean?
Why?
The dog didn't even like that joke. It's bad when the dog whimpers at it.
The dog, it whined. It whined. But anyways, getting back to the topic at hand, and now you can understand why this show is called Random Conflux, because we're random! You know what? Just for the hell of it, I like wrestling.
Uh-huh.
I like Power Rangers. Those that watch wrestling, those that watch Power Rangers, tell me what you think of this. LA Knight as the new Red Ranger.
Oh, okay, so going on a further tangent, I don't watch wrestling as much as you do. Your top pick for 6 wrestlers that should be Power Rangers.
Well,
and their colors.
Okay. Hold on. The reason why I said LA Knight as the Red Ranger, because he can go around to every other Ranger and be like, "Dummy, yeah!" Just all the time. "Dummy, yeah!"
Hold on.
I can actually do that voice.
But here, obviously, Xavier Woods should be there because he was a stunt actor.
The Black Ranger. He should be the new Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. It's morphin' time with him. Kofi Kingston, Pink Ranger. Big E, we'll make him the Green Ranger. Shawn Michaels, another Red Ranger. Really good Red Ranger. But you got, instead of diamonds on his outfit, make it hearts. Make it hearts. Triple H, Green Ranger, badass. Instead of a dagger, a sledgehammer.
For half a second, I thought you were going to say a slushie.
Okay.
Imagine a slushie as a Power Rangers weapon. He throws it on people as a weapon, and there's a big explosion in the background. Maybe you cough.
He's choking on his own joke over here. But, yeah, like, in realism, Power Rangers stunt acting and stunt acting in general is not that different than wrestling. Take it from experience. I did a little bit of both.
Hey, I'm not far off from something they actually did. In Ninja Steel, in the Japanese footage, they took it out of the American, but in the Japanese thing, the burger, the Six Rangers Morpher was a hamburger.
Hmm?
So if you can have a hamburger Morpher, you can have a slushy Ranger. Think about it. Your brain hurts now, doesn't it?
Yes. I'm broke.
Hasbro,
broken.
bring the slushy Ranger. We need to see this.
No, bring the Hamburger Ranger back! And we kind of redlined there. But anyways.
I think we should edit there. We're really got stuff to talk about when we're talking about Food Rangers.
No, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like, a slushy ranger for every flavor of the rainbow. When they're morphed, they're Power Rangers. And when they're not morphed, they're drinkables. Please don't drink them. That'll be the end of the Power Rangers.
That actually reminds me of an anime that I watched. I believe it was called Akikan, and there was these bottles of sports drink that were like enchanted. When people started to drink them, they turned into these girls. And it's as dumb as it sounds. It wasn't as bad as it sounds. It's like,
that sounds like it shouldn't be mentioned on YouTube.
It wasn't nearly as bad as you think, but the anime was as weird as you think at the same time.
Is it worse or better than Rama 1/2?
Humor-wise, about on par.
Okay.
Less nudity.
Okay, then it's YouTube friendly. YouTube's kind of weird when it comes down to what's YouTube friendly and what's not YouTube friendly. There's not really a manual for this kind of crap. Like, how many times can I say shit in an episode?
Let's not test that.
How many times can I say the F-bomb in an episode?
How
many times can I say the B word in an episode? As long as it's not homophobic, racist, or belligerent, technically I can say whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
But once it reaches those terms and it becomes offensive, then it no longer requires free speech. And that's the way you have to look at things when doing something like YouTube, because there is no real guidelines. There's not a manual that we can go off of and be like, okay, this is a word you can replace for this, or this, or that, or that, or this. Holy camole!
We try to keep ourselves fairly clean on here. There's occasional swearing,
give a shit.
Yeah, at least I try to.
He tries to. I really don't care.
But on with that, I think we should end this here. We're going on 40 minutes. 47 minutes.
Yeah. And I'll say when we're good.
Okay.
Because there is one last thing I want to talk about. One last thing.
Okay.
One last thing. One. Just one. I know sometimes when I say one, it usually goes into 100. But I mean one.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Okay. To be honest, it's gonna go into a whole thing, so let's just stick with it. Stick with me, people! Stick with me. I know what I would do if I ever had a chance to show up as a Power Ranger, or even on set. I know exactly what I would say or do. Or, like, what type of ranger I would want to be. If you had a chance to become a Power Ranger, what season, what color, and who would you replace?
Oh crap, that's a good thing to ask. I don't know who I'd replace. There's all kinds of... Honestly, don't know who I would replace. That's a good question. There's many that I couldn't replace because there's so many good ones. Reed's my favorite color, but I wouldn't want to replace Tommy, obviously, because it's near impossible to replace him.
Okay, well, let me rephrase this question a little bit better. Maybe not completely replace, but who do you think did a horrible job that you think that you could do a little bit better if given the opportunity? Like, maybe your worst ranger ever, and then you think you can do that a little bit better.
Oh, crap. I really gotta think on that one. Because there's good ones and there's a lot of bad ones too. So I have to think on that one. I don't know about which one I'd replace, but a color ranger that I could see myself being, because they're going by like their roles in the team.
Well, you don't really have to even be a ranger, but like a helper as well. You can count that too.
Yeah.
Like Kite or Area 10 or the Fan Ranger.
Yeah. I could see myself maybe being an assistant, like in one of the like labs or something like that. More than I could see myself being a ranger. Now, if I was a ranger, I could see either blue or black, because they're the ones that would usually step in as leaders if like the Red Ranger was away. Like they weren't the main one, but they could step in if they had to.
Whoa.
And that's any season in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the exception of a few, that's usually the ones that would take charge. Now, the exception...
It's usually blue that takes charge when red's not around.
Yeah.
But it's also been a thing where the 6th Ranger has also been the person in charge.
Yeah.
If you could be a special ranger in a episode, doesn't matter if it's a past episode or a future episode, what kind of ranger would you create? And what team?
If I could be a special ranger, I don't know about the ranger I'd create, but I'd love to be in the Mighty Morphin season with the ninja outfits. Because that would be so fun. It'd be like fun just to be a ninja. And I know Ninja Storm did it too, but I'm more of a fan of Mighty Morphin, even though Ninja Storm was awesome.
Yeah. The Ninja Storm to me was just they were spandex suits where the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ninja form, it was actually cloth, not spandex. But I would like to come on as like a version of and I'm not saying this because I think the original person that played Merrick was bad at it. I think he did an awesome job. But I would have liked to play the Lunar Wolf Ranger.
That'd be cool.
Because I think I could have done a new take on like if they would ever redo that series of Power Rangers, I would 100% want to try to go for that. And honestly, I like the peace and quiet the dog is giving us. It gives us a little bit more chance to talk. But too bad, so sad. We gotta wrap things up. That was literally like the last question I had. And maybe we'll put something more in another episode.
Possibly.
Like I said, I'm going to milk this Morphin Cow to the last power drop available. So, if you want to hear more, if you want to have your eardrums blown out by listening to Welcome to Random Conflux, then tune in to this channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, ringing the bell notification button, and remember always, may the force be with you. Wait, that's not it. May the power protect you! No, that's not it. May the force protect you. No, that's not it, damn it. I lost it. Just, if you think I'm rambling too much, go ahead, hit that thumbs down button. Nobody else will see it, just us.
With that, like, subscribe, all the happy fun crap. And with that,
say goodbye, Vegeta.
there's no Vegeta here, only Zarbon.
What? The heck?
I was sent here by Frieza.
Oh, go away. Go away, Simon. You're not allowed.
But you must find the truth of eternal beauty.
I just want to find the morphing grid.
What the heck's a morphing grid?
Exactly. Bring Vegeta back.
I will never bring Vegeta back. Shut up, Vegeta.
Until next time. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Then, now, and forever. Together.